A gut-wrenching loss in Las Vegas today for the Arizona women's basketball team as their trip to the Pac-12 tournament came to a quick end. The defeat hard to take after having to take the floor without one of their best players. N4 Tucson Sports Director Paul CICALA has more from Vegas.
Arizona is still trying to make sense of their loss to Colorado in the U of A's first appearance in the 2022 Pac-12 women's basketball tournament right here in Las Vegas. But one thing's for sure, the fans and family turned out in full force, and that includes the family of Kate Reese. Even though they knew she wouldn't play because of that shoulder injury, they still made the long trek from Texas all the way here to Southern Nevada.
Go Cats.
Bear down.
Bear down.
Win or lose, Bill and Cheryl Reese support their daughter, Arizona forward Kate Reese, every step of the way. In a Thursday night loss in the Pac-12 tournament to Colorado.
And Colorado survives!
And even rewinding to something that hurts a lot more.
Running in transition here, collides hard.
This was the scene with Arizona forward Kate Reese in agonizing pain after separating her shoulder.
The injury, as a parent, to see that on national TV and to not be able to be there with her was pretty tough.
Still, Reese out of the lineup and on the bench as she recovers hasn't stopped her mom and dad, Cheryl and Bill Reese, from traveling from Texas to Vegas to cheer the Wildcats on.
Describe the tremendous pride that you have as parents, win or lose, seeing Kate Reese in the Arizona Wildcats.
Yeah, we've been very active with the team since the day Kate started playing here, and we just feel we need to provide the emotional support for the team by showing up and being here as we try to do for every home game.
Showing up, even in loss, to continue to bear down.
And I feel like we'll win some more games.
As you just heard, Coach Adia Barnes feels the Arizona Wildcats can still win a few more games this season. It's not over with. Remember, the NCAA tournament is right around the corner, and it's a waiting game for the Wildcats. They are hoping that they can still get a 4 seed, and that would mean McKale Center could host 2 games in the NCAA tournament. Meanwhile, don't forget, coming up a bit later in sports, I will continue our in-depth coverage from here in Southern Nevada, and I'll catch up with some of the players and find out how emotional it was to lose that first game of the 2022 Pac-12 tournament. Reporting from Las Vegas, just a block from the Strip, Paul CICALA, News 4, Tucson.
Cats aren't done yet, folks. Coming up on News 4 Tucson at 10, our county reaches a grim new milestone as the deadly drug fentanyl continues to leave a trail of grief-stricken families behind.
Plus, Sky Harbor Airports test out a new system that allows travelers to schedule when they want to go through security. Matt?
Speaking of the sky, we got some showers rolling through. Very dry layers of the atmosphere, but some of this actually reaching the ground. How long does this stick around, and where's this spring-like weather going? Got news for you. It's going south. Forecast next.
Investigating for you. This is News 4 Tucson.
The fentanyl crisis has been taking the nation by storm.
According to the DEA, Southern Arizona is the gateway for this dangerous drug, and now the News 4 Tucson investigators have discovered a grim milestone in Pima County.
Cora Nylander shows us the toll these drugs have had on families and what's being done about it in tonight's News 4 Tucson investigation.
The numbers are staggering. This drug leaving a trail of death across Arizona, and parents, this is something you should strongly consider talking to your children about.
And he's in a good place.
Teresa Guerrero never imagined living a day without her son Jacob.
And Jacob was a fun-loving, happy-go-lucky spirit.
But on a tainted day in May 2020, while out shopping, she called her son to see if he needed anything. What happened next will always haunt her.
My brother-in-law answered the phone, and he said that Jake was unresponsive.
Right in here is where they were trying to revive him.
She rushed by his side, but would never hear her son's voice again, forever 31 years old.
Just rubbed his leg and said goodbye to him.
Later learning he died from taking cocaine laced with the deadly drug fentanyl. Her mission now, as she mourns her son, to save as many people as possible from this drug she calls a weapon of mass destruction.
God, it's just senseless death for money, for money.
The News 4 Tucson investigators wanted to see how severe the crisis really is in southern Arizona. We uncovered data from the Pima County Medical Examiner showing last year 298 people in Pima County died from the drug. But for teenagers, fentanyl overdoses were the #1 cause of death for ages 13 to 19 last year in Pima County. Out of a total of 17 deaths, 20 died from fentanyl. A noticeable increase from the 12 in 2020. In Santa Cruz and Cochise counties, both saw a total of 17 deaths in 2021. Both had just one teen death from fentanyl.
The deaths continue to increase.
Medical examiner Dr. Greg Hess says before 2014, they barely ever saw fentanyl overdoses.
2014 to 2021, the percentage of overdose deaths where fentanyl contributed is just whopping high.
Fentanyl for us is one of the biggest threats, if not the biggest threat right now.
The DEA is tasked with trying to stop the distribution of this deadly drug. Special Agent Polo Ruiz says just a tiny grain of fentanyl like this will kill you. They continue to make large seizures, but the problem continues to swell.
We're the gateway, unfortunately, to the rest of the United States. But I feel that for us, we're here also at the tip of the spear. We're trying to do the best job we can.
For Teresa, she wants to see lawmakers make more serious punishments for those caught manufacturing and distributing fentanyl. She's part of a group called Appalled,
Narcan here, which will save somebody,
holding rallies demanding such action. Teresa says she hopes law enforcement and even everyday people will always keep a dose of Narcan on hand, a life-saving drug to counteract the effects of an overdose.
Come on, keep breathing.
This is body cam video from Tucson police officers in January using Narcan to save the life of a woman who overdosed on fentanyl.
There you go.
We do need to save these kids. You need to talk to your kids.
There is a bill making its way through the Arizona House right now that, if passed, would impose a life sentence for anyone convicted of causing someone's death via drug trafficking. Teresa feels that could be a start at taking on this crisis. Investigating for you, Cora Nylander, News 4 Tucson.